Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. And today I'm here with a longtime friend, Jeevan. And I've actually known Jeevan during, we were on TikTok and we both were making self help videos. And we met online and we were doing similar things and we were commenting with each other. And, time passed and we did different things. And he's moved on to, creating an Instagram page, Offset Records. Is that how you say it, Jeevan?
Off record sounds.
Off Record Sounds, which has over 20K followers, where he really educates his followers on what's going on in the rap game, different types of music that are coming out. They have stuff on underground artists. He has also successfully launched a clothing line, and he really has a great rapport with his fans. He's always messaging them and connecting with them, and it's really displayed throughout his social media presence. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, bro. I appreciate you for the time. I appreciate, you allowing me to come on your platform and everything. And I'm just excited, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. It was funny because you're the first person who we've met both online and
Yeah.
then we actually met in person
Yeah.
and it came into fruition.
It's crazy to me because, like, considering the fact that we met on TikTok, TikTok is one of those platforms where you can just like swipe, swipe, swipe. So
Yeah.
you got to think like this whole relationship between me and you, this whole friendship kind of started from like a 3 second, like, mental decision to be like, all right, I'm not going to swipe past this video and I'm going to check out his profile. Then I'm going to,
Yeah.
like, isn't that crazy? Like,
It's interesting. Yeah. And it was like we did different things in a way. Like I transitioned to doing more like political and articles, and then you
yeah,
transitioned to do stuff with rap and music.
yeah,
But it was like, it's so weird that we both met each other at that like young period of time. And, I was looking back, actually, I have one of the videos that I wanted to show you.
oh
And
shit. Okay.
I want your reaction. I'm going to show you two.
Cool.
This is the off the TikTok that you've
Yeah.
made. Just
Yeah.
let me.
Yo, if there's one thing that a lot of you guys need to realize is that silence can be very loud and very powerful too. I used to be one of those people that always found validation from other people. Like I had to say something funny or I had to make them happy for me to feel happiness. But a lot of the times now, in many situations, I like to sit back and kind of accept my role as a passive observer. I also think that this can come from like meditation and just generally enjoying your senses, nature, and just observing life more. But yeah, just know the silence.
How many years ago was that? Was in 2021.
Yeah. I think it was what, like probably over, wait, no, probably about 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
About,
How is it kind of like looking back on those older videos of yourself, like make you feel? Does it make you like sad, happy? Like what emotions do you get? Like,
honestly, that's a good question. I would say that looking back on that period of my life, overall, I just feel a sense of appreciation for like that it happened. I don't really feel sad because
Mhm.
I'm very content with what I do right now. And I think I've really found my passion. But that was also a passion of mine for a very long time. And I'm very grateful that it happened. I feel like, especially during quarantine, I know a lot of people probably feel this way. I definitely felt this way. I felt like I was just having a ton of fucking ideas like coming to my head all the time. I was having a ton of realizations. I was meditating a lot. Just really, with all that time that I had, I used it more to dig deeper into who I really was because I didn't really know much about that before since I had all of these influences around me, friends, school, all of this. So when it all came to a crash, I had the most time to, introspect on myself. And side note, this sun is going crazy. I
Yeah.
looked at my camera real quick and I was like, wow. But yeah, to continue on, yeah, I'm very grateful that it happened. A little bit nostalgic, but not in a oh, I wish I was still doing that type of way. Because I look back at that time in my videos, it's like, wow, like that's a piece of who I am that I'll hold on to myself forever. At
It's
first,
an
it's not
era that you went through. Yeah.
exactly. That's still me. It's still me, and that's something I'll hold on to for the rest of my life. It's
Mhm.
just that passion has found itself a new home now, and yeah, looking back, I'm very grateful. So
Well, I think with the past, it's like a psychological thing. We kind of just sometimes see it with like rose colored glasses. Because sometimes I'll look at old things I've done and be like, oh, things are so much better and easier now. And then I'm like, well, no, this situation happened. And then you forget the good stuff you have going on currently as well. Yeah. But I also feel like even if something, people always think in order for something to be meaningful or like carry weight into your life that it needs to last forever. And that it needs to be something that either gets you money or gets you like these amazing opportunities. But then I look back on those TikTok days that I used to make those like self-help videos, and I feel like it made me really like think on the spot because you make those videos, you have a minute, and like I was already good at public speaking, but it even made it better because I only had so much time to get information in, and it made me connect with different types of people, and in a way, it like prepared me for what I'm doing now. Do you feel like in some ways doing those videos has any correlation of what you're doing currently with the rap Instagram page, or do you feel like it's completely different?
Yeah, no, I definitely had to think on it for a half second, but I definitely do believe that a lot of the ideas that I had on TikTok, generally, I feel like it still applies because even if the main essence of the brand is rap, a large part of the appeal of it and why people are invested in my community is because of me. And I make sure to showcase that in every other interaction other than just the content itself on the Instagram page. And even then, I still like to incorporate my personality in the captions I make, replying to comments. The stories I post is honestly the main thing because I post a lot of personal stuff on my story. I think
Mhm.
that's kind of it's a very,
In the lives you have, you're really like engaging with your fans
thank
and building a connection with them. Yeah.
yeah, it's like everything is an extension of me, really. And I still post a lot of stuff that I was saying on TikTok, a lot of the times in word form on my story. I incorporate a
Mhm.
lot of that in my captions and my comments and just my DMs to people, in my Discord. Like it's all kind of just still an extension of me. And that's the thing that I
Mhm.
think was beautiful about TikTok is like, or that era is like, it was never something that existed outside of me. Like it was always me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not even like, to me, it's not even like, I still take bits and pieces from that TikTok era. It's more, I take bits and pieces from myself. And that TikTok era was also me taking bits and pieces of myself. So yeah, I think that's my answer.
It's a good one. Well, to shift gears a little bit, in the age of, digital communication, many people find it easier to talk on camera than to engage in face-to-face conversations. What's been your experience like? Do you find it easier, to talk to people in person or online?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, like talking to strangers and just meeting new people is something I've struggled with for a long time. Like I've always had like social anxiety. So I would definitely say like talking to people online is a lot easier for me.
Mm.
And I would say that it's gotten a lot better. Like I've been able to face my social anxiety a lot more within like the past 6 months to like a year. But even beyond that, like I just think like I don't know, like it's I kind of had to realize like we're in an era now where the main form of communication really isn't even like talking face to face. It's literally like it happens through your phone, you know? So it's interesting, bro. Like I don't know. I definitely that's a very interesting question. And
Yeah.
uh it's something that I've worked on and I still am working on. I still have a lot of work left to do because sometimes even when I am like walking down the street, like I want to say something to someone and then like I'll catch myself and I won't say it. Or that's been a lot of who I was say past like this past year. But over this past year, I've really been working on that. And sometimes it leads to like really cool friendships and really cool relationships. And that's something that I just don't want to miss out on, you know? So
Yeah, and I think one good benefit of like social media is like Gary Vee was saying this in an interview. People are like, F social media, it's horrible, it's like the devil. But it really gives people a way to connect with people and get to know different types of people from different schools, different environments. And he brought up a good point. In the 90s or 80s, if a kid didn't have a lot of friends in school because they just moved, or they're just very shy, or they're bullied, they would have no other outlet to make friends. And I think social media has really given, an opportunity for people to meet people. I don't know. Would you say that's a big positive of it, right?
Oh, 100%. I would definitely say it's a massive positive. Like, I mean, I think like with everything, there's always positives and negatives, and it's really on you for if that experience weighs more in the positive side or the negative side. There's always going to be you're never going to be able to make a zero. You're never going to be able to make the positive zero. And that's something that I have to deal with every day. I take breaks. I take break days a lot. I deal with that on a consistent basis. Especially the music community. It's not. It can get toxic. So what I've tried to kind of do with my community is kind of just make my own like little like bubble within everything else. That's just like my little like positive Jeevan like bubble community. So you're never gonna be able to escape it. But the social media, 100%. Like we met on social media. That's a really friend that is, that's beautiful. And I can say the same thing for like so many other people that I've met. And
Yeah. Well, that goes on to my next question. One thing that always like stood out to me is your big commitment to your fans. Despite, you're growing in numbers of how many people follow you, you still like to engage with them personally, whether it's like with your live or your comments. Yeah, I've even seen like fans ask you like, "Hey, do you mind listening to my music?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll check it out." And you really have meaningful conversations with them. Why is that so important to you? Even though you've reached a period on your page where you necessarily don't have to do that. Because I follow a lot of rap Instagram pages, and a lot of them don't engage with their audiences like you do. Why is it important to you?
Honestly, I feel like engaging with your audience is more important than the content itself. I will 100% believe that, like all the way. And I like to take pride in what I do. In like, I try to be the best I can be with the content and also with the DMs. But one thing that results in is I'm not always able to be consistent, and I'm still the only one running everything. So it's like there's a lot of days when I'll literally just respond and interact with people. There's other days where I'll just make content, and it's kind of one or the other. Because if I try to do both, I just can't. I just don't have the time. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say that it's always been the most important thing to me. Like it doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter how long it takes me to respond to DMs, comments. I'm going to respond to every single one. I'm going to respond to every single comment. And I'm going to make that person feel loved because I do love that person. Like it's, like I'm so grateful for everything. Like, I don't know, man, like it's crazy. Like 2 years ago when I started it, I never would have thought that it would have gotten to the point today. And I think it's 100% because of the relationships. Like my content wasn't even good when I started out. And even then I was still building a little core community, and it's just about really caring for that person. And sometimes, bro, like I won't even be able to, on those days where I'm just responding and interacting with people, I won't even be able to talk to everyone because I'll have one person call me or I'll call one person and that call will go on for like an hour or two, Like sometimes that one, I don't know, bro. I feel like just focusing on relationships takes you further than anything ever would. And I think people understand that and they appreciate that more than anything. Like, especially nowadays when it's so hard for people to find community, they want to be able to find that. And I pride myself in being an outlet for that. And I think like a lot of these rap media pages, especially, they're very corporate and they don't really emphasize a relationship with their fans. So that's why I have the utmost respect for those who do.
Yeah.
That's not, it's not even only limited to just rap media. It's just a lot of, brands in general. They don't interact with their fans. They don't, like, even if they
It's
do
also people when they reach a certain level. Because I'm in a completely different industry than yours, but like sometimes I'll work with people on something. They're like, "You're so nice," and I'm like, "Why would I want to make an experience where I'm working with people that care about me or who want to help me miserable?" Like it's a choice at the end of the day, what self you want to bring into, and you always want to bring your best self. You want to, be nice to the waiter, be nice to everyone, because if you reach a point where you are successful and you don't treat people well, I feel like then there's no point. And if you're never something that I think we have very much in common is like when I watch your Instagram is you're always grateful for, the people that support your page. And you have to remember like people get you to where you are wherever you go. Some of it is you. And if you're not grateful, those people can also, take it away, or it's bad karma that can head in your direction. I always thank people, you know.
Yeah, man.
All right. What other thing is you used to make your own music? I remember that as well.
Yeah.
What was that process like? Did you like write it in a journal? Would you like freestyle? Did you work on it with people? And do you think that influences how you listen to music in a way?
It's a very, very good question. So to answer the first thing, I definitely did not freestyle. I can't freestyle. Well, honestly, I will say I can't freestyle for shit because sometimes I can go off low key, but not like my friend, not like some of my friends. So I will say I'm not the best at all at freestyling. So I write down my stuff, and I've always done that for the music that I record. And music has always been something that has been a creative outlet for me. And I've had to kind of take a step back from it, especially over, I would say, like this past year, because the responsibilities of my own brand have gotten to a point where it requires my whole attention. And I'm still in school too. And I still go to the gym and try to make time for friends. So it's like try to balance all of it. And on top of music, which is like requires such a massive commitment, it's definitely not easy at all. And it's not possible for me at this point. But that's not to say that I'm not going to try to get into it later in my life, because that it's always been a creative outlet for me. And even if I don't record music with the intention of releasing it, I'm always going to have it. Even now, still, I'm doing this with the intention of just wanting to have fun and wanting it to be something that I can go to when I want to say something, and just have that for me. Even if I don't show it to anyone, even if it doesn't release, like, I want to be able to just get better and better and better. And I think it's just an amazing thing. And yeah, I would also say it has definitely influenced how I listen to music. I think it's honestly like as a more experienced listener, I would say you're able to gain that from making music, and it reflects a lot for myself. And I'm very grateful for that, because now it's not only like I'm just listening to the music, I'm listening to the beat, the chord progressions, like the mixing, like a lot more elements to it, and I can kind of pinpoint here and there like where I think I might change things if I was the artist or whatever. And I think it's improved my ability to give feedback. And yeah, so but also it's also made me listening to my music that I love a lot more enjoyable too, because I don't know, I was listening to I think my favorite song of all time is Pyramids by Frank Ocean. I don't know if you've listened to that song.
That is a banger.
Bro. Oh my God.
Hold up anyone who disagrees.
Dude, yes. Oh my God. I love that song so much. I literally showed it to my old English teacher from high school yesterday. Yeah, I love that song so much. That song. Okay. Yeah.
Now we're like, this always happens whenever me and you talk. We'll agree on something, and then we both get super excited because there's not a lot of people that agree with us.
But yeah, it's like even just me making my own music, it's when I listen to that song and a lot of other songs, like it's just so immersed. What's the word? Like
you get immersed into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you find yourself more creatively inspired when you're going through really hard periods, like darker times, or like when you're in your best mood and you're happiest? Or how you're feeling doesn't affect your music or anything in general?
Honestly, I would say that it doesn't have much of an effect on me, because even if I am like, say I'm happy and I'm reflecting on like a heartbreak or like something that happened in my life that was traumatic, I'm still able to reflect on it and pull from it, and use that experience as something that I can delve into in my music. And whether it's music or art or even ORS, I can use that as a creative outlet. Like, I honestly think that if I'm going through like shittier times, it'll just make me to like kind of want to like push it away maybe a little bit. Maybe not music, but since ORS is kind of like my job more now.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely
it was
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I would say that it doesn't have the most effect on me, but But I know for a lot of people, like some of my friends who are musicians and whatever, it definitely does. So yeah.
Well, I think something that was shown in your TikTok earlier, we didn't really talk about the message in the video, which I think deserves its own topic of like the power of silence and just like taking the back seat. I feel like I've been doing that so much more because sometimes I always think I need to say this, I need to do that. But sometimes there's an element of power of just observing. And I find that's where my ideas come from, is when I take my mind off and just observe what's around me. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, 100%. I'm a very observant person, I would say. Especially like that TikTok is very relevant because considering that point in my life, that was like me probably only like 6 months to a year removed off of high school when I was still.
What's predisposing? Yeah.
I feel like I've grown a lot within those 2 years since that TikTok too. And considering the growth that happened from that TikTok back to 6 months to a year ago, when I was still in high school, when I was, a very much more talkative, social person. I still am social now. I don't think social is the right word. I would say more of like a
Going.
yeah,
I
just like
don't know. Yeah.
more of like I was more of like a class clown, I would say. I think that's a good way to describe it.
Rambunctious. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, I definitely feel like just sitting back and being able to observe has allowed me to, figure out a lot about myself, figure out a lot about what I like as an individual, who I am, and it's more peaceful to me. Honestly, I like it more. And
Get it. Well, I think even if someone is an extrovert or someone who, like, I would say I'm very extroverted, I think there's power of spending time by yourself because that's when you know what you really want to do and you can shut out the noise.
yeah, actually, one quote by Mac Miller. He was like, he had this interview, and he was like, he was in this park with this interviewer, and the interviewer asked him, he was like, he said this to Mac, if you could look around the park right now and choose to be friends with anyone, who would you pick? And they looked around the park, and Mac pointed at two old people sitting together, an old couple. And he was like, them. Instantly, he picked them. And then the interviewer was like, why? Or like, why just these random old people? And he was like, look at them. They're just sitting together in silence, not saying a word while there's noise happening all around the park. And they look like a couple that has been together for a very, very long time. And Mac was like, I feel like when you're old, you have all this experience, and look at them. They're just sitting together. Sometimes you don't have to pollute life with words that are meaningless. Sometimes you can just enjoy life for its stillness. And I think that's a very beautiful quote. Just being able to observe, like,
Yeah.
life is beautiful. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like kind of observing of what's going around you.
Yeah, even if there's no like action happening around me, like even if there's nothing like crazy happening, I think it's like life can still be so beautiful, even in the most details. Like whether it's like, me being the observer of the nature in front of me, of my car, like whatever it is, Like,
Well, it's because people like your job is probably with the social media page a lot of work. So the moment you do get that, quiet time, it's really nice. Because a lot of people may think like, oh, he's running a social media page, he just gets to scroll on his phone. But it's a lot more work than people think it is, right?
yeah, it's like it's a full-time job for me. I work my ass off. And
Like the graphics, the video, like the recordings, and then like
graphics,
promoting endlessly.
yeah, I could go on and on. Like it's yeah.
What would you say is we talked about all the positives, but what would you say is the hardest part about doing it?
I'm a perfectionist, so probably the hardest part for me is always knowing that there's more work to do and that I can't be able to do it all. And
Yeah.
there's literally like if I wanted to work my hardest, I would be working 24/7 with no sleep, So it's tough for me. But also I try to realize that, everything in life, you can just give it your all, and whatever happens, like you can always just look back and know that you gave it your all and just be happy because of that. Definitely like the downsides include that. And social media never stops. If you have a 9-to-5 job or you just have a regular job,
Yeah.
5 p.m. you can literally check out physically and mentally. That doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You run a business or have social media, for a business, whatever. So, it's always like, there's always like a little mental, like game, not game. There's a little mental caveat. Sometimes it's like, there's no
It's
safety
hard to
net.
turn it off because
Yeah, you
my
can't.
friend Sharon, who's like a YouTube influencer, told me, she's like, when I worked in corporate America, 9 to 5, I clock out, health insurance, all that stuff. She's like, now when I go on vacation, a lot of her followers want to see how she's on travel. She's like, a part of that also gets taken away, right? It's
Right.
hard to put it down.
Yeah, I don't know. There's always like I said, in everything, bro. There's
Yeah,
always
there's always a
positives
downside.
and positives. Like, but I
Yeah.
think for at least what I do, I'm very grateful. Like, I would not want to trade the position I'm in for anything. So,
Mhm. So we're gonna do something a little bit. We're gonna go into something a little bit more fun now.
cool.
So this is called Bop or Flop. I'm gonna give you 3 different songs, and you're gonna say if it's a bop or a flop and why.
Okay.
All right. So let's do. Have you heard of the song "The Game" by Rick Ross, Fat Joe, and the Logs?
Yeah,
Bop or flop?
that's a bop.
Bop, why?
It's just the energy. Like,
And it's
it remi- just reminds me of like an era in my time, in my life. I guess it's just that's just a bagger.
yeah.
That's a bop. That's a bop.
All right. How about "All My Life" by Little Durk?
All My Life from Lil Durk and J. Cole.
Yeah, Jake.
I guess it's a bop, but I don't really want to say it's a bop. Like, it's kind of like, it's alright. Like, I'm not gonna play it in the car, but I'm not gonna say it's like a trash song.
So if it's played, you're not gonna skip it.
Yeah, but I'm also not probably gonna like go to my phone, type in "All My Life" and press play. It's just kind of one of those songs that if it comes on, I'm like, all right, cool. But
Oh, do you like J. Cole's music? How about you? What do you think of J. Cole?
I like J. Cole a lot. J. Cole is probably my favorite rapper for a long time.
Oh, I love his music. I really liked. Forget the name of that album, but you know the one where he was wearing a crown and he was a king. I forget the name of it.
Born Sinner.
Yes, I think that was a really good album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Was it that one? Was it that one, or was it?
I don't remember what the name of it was.
When did it
Came
come out?
a while back. I haven't. I think it was when I was in high school. So I
I
think
don't know.
it was. Oh, KOD. Caught.
KOD. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said
That one was a really good album.
yeah, KOD is dope. That one was a lot of good songs on it.
Yeah. Well, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna put my laptop on the charger. Yeah. So.
I think 24 Feet and Forest Hill Drives is my favorite J. Cole album for sure.
Oh, really? I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a bop. It's definitely a bop.
All right. Now, since it won't die at the end of the interview,
That was all good.
how about the Hillbillies by Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar?
Hillbillies that's a bop. It's definitely a bop. Yeah, it's like a cool summer tune. I like it. It's we gonna fuck up the world. It's I like it. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play that.
What do you think about, this is like non-rap related, how about Olivia Rodrigo's new album?
Olivia Rodrigo. I like Olivia Rodrigo a lot. She is like my celebrity crush.
Do you want me to show the other video?
Sure. Oh, you're gonna. I already know what you're gonna start in there.
I just want to say, like, I really think I love you at the end. Oh, it's so.
Gosh,
I had to put that in because I was scrolling through your page, then I saw that, and I'm like, oh, that's so fitting because her new album's out.
yeah.
Is she still your number one girl crush?
Yeah, for sure. If she ever watches this, Olivia, I know it all along that we were gonna be together. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh my god! And then I just love the comments. One of them was like, "It's like, why are you whispering?" Whispering. It was like everyone's like that when they're in middle school or high school and they like someone, they just have their hoodie up like.
Right. Shout out Olivia though.
Yeah, I like the thing I like about her music. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I do love that, like, she writes about things that are very interesting, where it's like she has a song, Get Him Back, where she's talking about wanting to get back with an ex and be nice, but then also get revenge. And then, like,
Yeah.
these things that people feel sometimes, but no one ever really, like, talks about it. I always find it interesting. Like the
Yeah.
Weeknd music, which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it, is that he's very open about how he feels. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you
I think it's
listen?
fire.
Do you listen to music for the beat, for the sound, or for the lyrics? What matter? I know both matter, but if you have to choose one.
Um, well, I would say the sound kind of encompasses both the beat and the lyrics, depending on like how the lyrics are enunciated and whatnot. But I think it's hard for me to pick one. Like it's really both. Obviously, I think like the first thing that your ear recognizes or you can pick apart when it listens to a song is the beat. But I don't know. Like
I think sometimes though, could you listen to someone who is not the best rapper, not the best singer, but their music, but the lyrics are really good, or that matters just as much?
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it does matter as much to me more and to like I think just generally music listeners more. But if the music's good, then the music's good. Then the music's good. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what did you think about the bop? What would you say right now are some of your top three bops that are on the radio?
honestly, I don't really listen to a lot of music on the radio. I can give you some like bops that I'm just listening to in general.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, yeah, definitely Pyramids by Frank Ocean. That's like that's my favorite song ever. I love that song. That's a bop. That's a big bop for sure. Let me try to think. It's a lot of classics. It definitely go. I'll say this is kind of like a radio song. Well, not really much, but it's popular right now. Off of Utopia by Travis Scott. I like My Eyes a lot. That's probably my favorite.
Oh, that's a
My
really
favorite
good
song.
song.
Yeah, that one's fire. Yeah, that one is definitely a bop. And we give you one last one. Trying to think. I'll give you another one of my favorite songs ever. Fine Wine by ASAP Rocky is one of my favorite songs of all time. That song is like abstract art. It's beautiful. I'll say probably ASAP Rocky.
You're an A$AP Rocky fan too?
Yeah, ASAP Rocky's my
Right.
favorite artist ever. He
Oh, girl.
yeah, he is yeah. he's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite artists?
I don't know. I feel like it definitely like fluctuates and changes, but I definitely like The Weeknd, which I've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
I like some of A$AP Rocky's music. I think he's very talented. Who else?
I've been listening to a lot of Frank Ocean recently.
Yeah, Frank Ocean. Like, I'll go through period. Is there artists you go through? I go through periods of listening to a lot to him, and then periods where I don't.
Frank is one of my favorite artists of all time too. He is a genius. Like,
Yeah,
and is insane. Like, yeah.
yeah. But it does really change. I always love though when artists really do evolve and change up their music a lot. Like I love to see that progression. Like, yeah. So that's always a nice thing to say, do, because that's what life is all about. Because we started the interview, we talked about your TikTok self-help days, and now we're talking about the rap. Everything evolves. Do you ever feel like you'll ever want to do other things and change it up? Like, what are some things you want to do in the future that you have on your mind?
100%, bro. I have a lot of plans. I have a lot of aspirations. I don't want to just limit myself. I want to go the farthest I can with ORS. Build this into a company with actual employees, people that are kind of carrying out, what I've laid out as a creative vision. And even in the future beyond ORS, like there's a lot of things where I want to be like my own musician. I want to make like a lot of music. I want to have like my own company. I want to like do stuff in like space one day. I want to.
No one bite him. No one bite him off. Just giving.
I want to do like. I want to be like a hairstylist on the side one day. I want to be like a basketball coach or like a soccer coach. I want to.
Oh my God, maybe that could be a side thing you do in the future. You create like the soccer social media.
Yeah. I want to be an astronaut or some shit. I want to go to space. Like I want to do a lot of things, bro. I want to be
Yeah.
like a professional food taster one day. I want to be
I wish
like,
there was another 8 hours in a day. Imagine all the things we could just accomplish.
what I'm saying, bro. You know,
Yeah.
just gotta make those hours count.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me today. And it was really nice to, do this interview. I feel like a lot of our conversations are like interview because we always have really deep talks. So it's nice to actually put
Bro.
something together.
We recorded all of our conversations. Interview will be like 12 hours long.
Yeah. Like when we went to the Great Wall, that was like an interview. Thank you for being here with me. Best of luck. And thank you to all the listeners for listening.
Thank you again, bro.